What's good, everybody? So I had an interesting dream this morning. And um, I was visiting a friend. Well, visiting this young lady that I used to date. Cause we live, we date, we move on, but there's always maybe a handful of exes that you still trust. And I kind of find it no coincidence that it's this person in particular. We'll call them Apple. And so in the dream, I was already there. Like, we were just sitting in their living room. However, this is not the apartment that I remember. I've been to that apartment several times. Um, and it's not what that apartment looks like. So that's the first thing I noticed, is that I was somewhere else. And I was like laying in their lap. You know how you lay in somebody's lap and then they like bend over to kiss you? And that's also kind of like, in other words, I had these weird indicators. There were these indications for me that it wasn't really Apple, right? That's why I'm mentioning this. So, because it is possible, the same way, like if I'm trying to siphon energy from you and I happen to know one of your friends, we have a mutual friend, I can use that mutual friend to siphon energy from you. And I could also do that in a dream, right? So if I know that if I happen to have met or just even seen in passing someone I know you trust, then I can, in a way, come to you in a dream appearing like that person, right? And so the fact that she was in my dream at all was already an indication to me that this is kind of off. I rarely actually dream about my friends. First of all. And second of all, me and that ex is not sleeping together right now. We're not sleeping together. Also, they're not that shy, at least when it comes to me. And so if they wanted to get some, they would have just contacted me directly. They wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have done it through a dream. I don't even think they know how to do that. And so I kind of already knew from the beginning that something was off about this dream, and I just let it play out because it's still just a dream. And so I was laying in their lap. So I'm back. I'm at Apple's house, and my head was in their lap, and they kind of bent down to kiss me. That's why I threw in a disclaimer right there, because I realized even that's a little off, because they're a little bit too tall for that. They would be a little bit too tall for that. A shorter person might be able to do something like that. You know, somebody's laying on your lap and then you kind of lean over to kiss them. I think in my mind, Apple might be a little too tall for that. And then they kind of kissed me, and then I kissed them back, and then they were just like, we should have sex. And I was like, okay. I was like, but I haven't showered, right? But I haven't showered yet, so I gotta take a shower. They was like, all right. So they was already just kind of acting kind of like, I guess so. And so I went to go to the bathroom. I went inside their bathroom. First of all, I looked around. I was like, it's a nice apartment you have. I actually felt like I was in a basement. I felt like I was in like a basement apartment. And it was really big. It's like when I really looked around, like I said, it's not the apartment I remember. So I don't know whose apartment this really was. But it was actually a really nice, spacious. It was spacious, and I feel like the walls were dark. Maybe they were gray, something like that. And I kind of liked it. There was sun. That's why it felt like a basement apartment, but if I recall correctly, there was windows with sunlight. So I don't know. But then, they got into bed, and then I went to go to the bathroom, and it was a mess. Like the tub looked like it had stuff in it. You know how maybe they were like drying laundry or something, like one of those. I think I saw one of those laundry. It's like a portable laundry rack. I feel like that was like in the tub, and it was something else. It was like everything was just kind of like blocked, and I started to say something. Then I was just like, nah, and then I woke up, and so interesting, what's so interesting is that I was scrolling tarot readers like I usually do. I do scroll at tarot readers, and one person, like one of the first people I scrolled past, one of the first people I stopped on actually said someone is trying to siphon your energy, like sexually, like trying to siphon your sexual energy, right? Because sexual, sex, right? Sacred energy exchange. Also, sexual energy is creative and procreative energy, right? It's creative and procreative energy. So that's your sexual energy is really good, especially if somebody is an artist and they're looking for inspiration and ideas and they're running out of ideas. They'll just sleep with somebody who has, who's high vibrational and abundant energy, they'll sleep with somebody whose creativity seems to flow effortlessly, and like siphon that energy of effortless creativity. And so that might also be part of it, is maybe somebody is trying to siphon my creative energy, right? My procreative energy. So one thing I noticed, see what's at the bottom of the deck, right? That's me, with the smile on my face. I took those 10 swords like a champ. It also puts me in mind of, speaking of sexual energy, puts me in mind of orgy energy, right? Like, I don't know if I can say the other one. Like, 10 swords being 10 people trying to jab you, you know what I'm saying? That's a thing. I know that got real explicit, and I should have said, trigger warning, because where I'm going with that is that there could be multiple people or a group of people looking to siphon your energy, and that just happened to be the one person who decided to initiate the contact, so that this group of people can siphon your energy. But that's dead, right? 10 of Swords, that body is dead, right? This old version of me is dead, and so it's not gonna work. It's fascinating though, having the dreams about it, because I woke up like, wait, what's going on? I haven't talked to Apple in a little while. I told them, and I told them a little something real quick, and then I noticed that their page is shut down. So, like I said, if they wanted to contact me, they'll just contact me directly, or through a friend they know I do trust, or a friend that they trust. It don't necessarily have to be somebody I know like that. You know what I mean? It would be through a friend that they trust, and I know for the most part who their best friends are. And so, like I said, no. That's very clever though. It's very clever though. I'm debating if I want to actually stop this and then start a new video for the reading. I think I'm gonna tell you this other dream in the next video. That's what I'm gonna do.